Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to everyone that's here live. Thank you for all your patience. We've had multiple animal difficulties, along with just generally just life difficulties tonight. Nothing serious. We're just life. Thank you, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Deja and Rachel Joy and Sarah and Yolanda. Hello. Pfeffy and Katie and Juliet and Cecily. Laure, Lisa Marie. Also, Laure, thank you for joining my Patreon. New patron in the house. Honey and a new name, Yala Rose. We were not on earlier. We were running a little late. Kieran is being very vocal tonight, and we had to take. I'll just take Bo out last minute. So those are some of our animal difficulties. So just giving y'all a heads up. And yeah, if you are watching on the replay, we tend to highlight comments as we go through the chat, but there's also usually a live chat that you can open up on YouTube to rewatch. If you've been around for the last couple of weeks, we've been playing with Streamlabs and StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard tonight because it's low effort. That's what I needed. But the layouts might change as time goes on. Welcome, Lacey and Ani and everyone in the house. And if you don't know, my name is EmilyHanhan. This is Audra at Home. Audra's channel and everything is linked in the description box. So is mine. We have merch. We both have Patreons. We are on Instagram, Twitter, all the social medias. And thank you, Isabel, saying my hair looks lush. This is optimal dead head, not having been washed for more days than I know. Hey, Sharon, and just welcome everyone. I don't know if Audra has anything that she wants to say. I have a bag of cat snacks by me that I'm using as an attempt to keep him chill, but it's not really working right now.
No, I'm sorry. I was like fiddling around with settings and all this kind of stuff because I'm trying to like be a better YouTube streamer. So I'm like, ooh, let's do this and make sure I'm doing this and check that. And so, and I'm sending you like a little note.
I love this as well. I love your orange lippy. Also, if somebody mentioned, yes, I have yet another comfy, the sweatshirt blanket thing that I talked about previously. And this one is black and like velvety. So yes.
It's started warming up here, so it's like it's sucky. I'm like annoyed.
Wait, what happened?
And now it's warming up, so it's like
now
like I was just getting past the sweaty shit, and now I'm like sweating again.
Orange, yes, I love the orange. It's funny. Orange is one of those colors that I love on everyone else, but I don't really love on my own, like on myself. But that's okay. So tonight we are talking about the idea of makeup as merch. We kind of we talk about it quite a lot, and we definitely talked about it on Tuesday when we were doing our new makeup release stream on Audra's channel. But I feel like it's something that's happening so much more often, like these releases. And my feeling on makeup as merch is I'm looking at it as makeup that is a collaboration or a theme where I don't particularly feel like the makeup is the focus. It's the theme, it's the character that's the focus.
Yeah. I mean, and it's kind of an odd place to be, right? Because when we talk about ColourPop, and I think LS, you were the one who told me about her video and I watched it, talking about like the kinds of releases that they have going and that they really know what they're doing. It's like they're tapping into nostalgia, like the Candyland and all of that kind of stuff. But the color stories really aren't there for like me personally. It's not there for me. I'm like, ugh. But they know that like they're gonna get away with it because of those of us who like to buy makeup as merch, which I rarely do. I'm not gonna say I never do. I'm just gonna say I rarely do it, because I also have a need for the makeup inside to be awesome. So if the makeup inside sucks, The child.
I'm glad. Yes, I didn't know that Baby Yoda was also known as the child, and so I was quite confused when I kept seeing that word, that name being used. Like I know Mia's Virtual Vanity duped the child palette on her channel.
You're not alone.
Yeah, and I was like, is this a way to like not get dinged by like copyright or something? Like
I
that's what
don't
I
even
didn't know. But
I was confused.
yeah,
I'm not gonna sit here and lie and pretend like I knew what the fuck was going. I did not know what was going on. I was
and
confused.
I think something that I realized pretty early on when I keep seeing these things that I'm calling makeup as merch is that I have yet to see something be released that like does it for me, that is my kind of merch. The closest
Yeah.
thing that's coming is the Melt and Beetlejuice collection because there's
Yeah.
something about I love the Beetlejuice movie. I realize I love the Beetlejuice cartoon. I didn't even know that, but
Yeah.
I was rewatching some because I did a beat. The it was just like such a feeling, such a movie that I just loved. I loved the
Yeah.
cast, and so as soon as it was like revealed that that's who that they were collaborating with, that's what their holiday release was. I was like, oh, this is going to be a challenge to like keep my makeup goblin at bay. But they've revealed they're doing two palettes, and I really feel like I'm like, I might buy one of the palettes. I might buy the purple and green palette. But I realize that even though I love the aesthetic and I think their outside packaging for the palettes looks pretty cool, it still didn't activate my like, I need it. I don't care about what's inside. So, yeah.
Same thing. Like I think here's I feel like the pictures too didn't necessarily.
Yeah, they haven't really given us enough. Like it's all smoky, smoke and
Yes, that's my
mirrors.
problem. There's like
Yeah.
smoke and then some like
I don't trust, and it's also a brand that I don't fully trust, and I don't trust that they're consistent. It's kind of like the ColourPop thing, where I'm like, I don't really like you as a brand, so I don't really feel that desire to like pay for that. Like I'm trying to think of any examples where I feel like I really bought something, but and I also wanted to start out, we're pretty early in the stream to say, this is not any offense or hate on anything that you buy, whether it's you bought it as makeup or you bought it as merch. Like this is just our take on it, and we try to talk about some of the stuff beforehand, and I feel like we had a pretty good like kind of point of all of it. And I don't know if we want to start there, if we want to get to that point, but like a pretty big reason as to why we, the two of us, kind of don't really fall into the makeup as merch trap as often. But we just wanted to talk about it and also see how y'all felt, and you know, if you've bought makeup as merch and how you feel about it. I know there's been a ton of like horror movie palettes this year in terms of like Freddy and Jason and all of that. So I don't know if you have any feelings on those, Audra, or
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing, you know, it's no secret that I am a huge horror lover, right? But I saw the Freddy and Jason palettes and they weren't cute. Like,
yeah.
Because here's the thing, I have horror memorabilia. You know, I have it. So my overwhelming thing is like that's why I don't necessarily get sucked into makeup as merch as much, because the makeup inside it has to scream or like do something for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't, then it's just like, why do I have it? Because I already have, like, this is what I collect. I mean, to a degree I collect some makeup, but like this is what I collect. I collect dolls and David Bowie and spiders. And so
I love that. Dolls, David Bowie, and spiders. That's quite a collection.
You know, like this is the kind of shit I collect. So for me, it's like I can't buy a makeup palette, especially because I got caught up once with I think we were talking about this, you know, offline, where I got caught up and I bought that boring bitch Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies palette from BH Cosmetics.
Yeah.
And it's so ugly, you know, like it was so, even when I was being like my most basic bitch self, it was really an unattractive palette. And when I had it in my hands, I was just like, I literally bought this because of the packaging. And so my realistic conception and idea there has to be for me. It's like, well, I don't want to just look at it, and I already have a lot of makeup, and I already feel a certain way about not attempting to use like a lot of the shit I've got anyhow.
Effie has an interesting take. I wonder if, since the people makeup is marketed towards get a lot of gatekeeping from fandom, makeup brands are using makeup as fandom merch to entice them to prove they're real fans. I do think makeup as merch, when it comes to kind of nerdier or, well, because Star Wars is very mainstream, I was going to say less mainstream, but when it comes to those kinds of fandoms, a lot of times like feminine people or people that wear makeup or care about makeup a lot of times get shit in terms of like superheroes, sci-fi. And it's not the case across the board, but I could see at like a Comic-Con situation, like the girly girls, unless you're really doing cosplay, kind of, I don't know, there's just a lot of shit there when it comes to like the kinds of gatekeeping there is with some of these fandoms. So I could see it being like, let's tap into this market that also feels ignored by the fandom, maybe like, or like ostracized by the fandom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Oh, that giant Game of Thrones. See, again, I was a huge Game of Thrones fan. And
like,
that palette, I think because my makeup love is so strong, when you don't deliver, when you take something and then you kind of just like poop it out, and I'm like, what is this? It makes me angry because I'm like, you want to sell this to me because I'm a Game of Thrones fan, or I'm a Marvel fan, or I'm a Star Wars fan. But either the outside design is shit, or the makeup inside is so boring, or doesn't feel like the thing that you love, that you're like, what is this? I think that's my thing, is I can always see something and be like, oh, this is how I would have done a Game of Thrones collection. Or this is how I would have done a horror movie palette, or like whatever it is. When you're a big fan of the thing and a big makeup lover, I feel like that's what my brain does. I'm just like, no, I could do this better. We all have our clown moments.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, we all have our clown moments. It's okay as well. That's all I was gonna say.
And Lacey brought up a part of this in the chat saying, well, you know, I have 4 items that they're 4 things that are makeup as merch, no intention of ever using it displayed. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's very interesting, because I think that I honestly feel like there's camps of makeup as merch people, and you are one of them that's like, it's going to be displayed and I'm not going to use it and it's fine.
Yeah.
And I think I am the kind of person where I have to have it do 2 things. I have to have the makeup inside be cute, and I have to like the merch itself. Like, because then when I'm done with the makeup aspect of it, I still have the merch. I'm really excited. But I think for me, I'm one of those people who, if it's makeup as merch and the makeup is just not calling my name, there's something in me that's like, why did I spend money on this? Like, and that's just a me thing.
But that goes to my thing where I'm like, I would rather than, of course, me with my indie rah small business, I'd rather be like, you know what? Let me go on Etsy, find somebody who's doing paintings or this or that, kind of like your background, your backdrop, where I'm like, if there's a palette if there's a fandom that I'm really passionate about, and I see a release and I'm just like, this isn't for me, but like the packaging's kind of cute, but it's still $20 or it's $40 or whatever. There's a high likelihood I could go on the internet and find something that I could display that's not makeup, that would also then be supporting an artist, a creator. Yes, but like, and I agree with you, Yolanda. I'm a nerd's nerd, and nothing would make me happier than a great collab between a brand and my favorite franchises. Love it or hate it, Melt has gotten close. Those palette or Beetlejuice colors. I just think they're missing the blue teal tones. But I'm intrigued. I think that of all of the kind of movie collabs I've seen, I think it's close. And I know somebody earlier was saying, why is it being released after Halloween? Melt tends to do this. Their Day of the Dead themed release last year was their holiday release. So yeah.
I'm sorry, let me just put my trash
out real
quick. I just realized 7:40.
So I want to then I'll just jump into like the main point of all of this of like why I would rather pick up a piece of art than a makeup thing if I wanted to display it is because the thing that I think a lot of us deal with as makeup lovers is we, especially I think as women or people that are more feminine. Here's the thing. Men get their chance to collect whatever the fuck they want. Shoes, games, memorabilia, whatever, sports shit, it's fine. A lot of women collect makeup or we buy a lot of makeup and we get shit for it. And there's always a conversation of you're not going to use it all up in time. It's going to go bad. It's whatever. And I fight against a lot of that. If y'all have been around, like I talk a lot about the patriarchy and fighting against it. But there's still part of me that I'm like, I do want to use a thing. If I'm going to buy a thing, I want to use it. And so for me, makeup as merch, because if I'm just going to have it on display and it's just going to like go bad inside, there's part of me that still kind of falls into that trap of being like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Like, and so I think that that's a big part of like why I'm not, why I don't tend to, I guess, fall for it more often.
Yeah. I mean, it is a very personal purchase.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I like that Kathleen said that for those listening. Here's an interesting thing about makeup as merch. Once you put it on, no one knows the makeup was merch except you. So it's a very personal purchase. It's like a secret support of your fave fandom. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really cool. Like, I think that the people who have makeup as merch, I think that's awesome. I think that's amazing. I don't know if mine's like that patriarchal feel or if I'm just a person who, when I have things that have a purpose, that I can't, and it just depends. It's so weird. Like I can display this mug, like this is a mug, I can display it, right? But and like I could use it, but it's more of a decorational mug, so I feel okay with that.
Yeah.
And it's like I have a pen that's displayed over here, and I'm not ever going to use the pen. I don't know why I feel fine displaying it. But I don't know why. I think it's because I like to play with makeup. I like to play with my makeup. I like to use my makeup. And who knows? Someday somebody could come out with the most like bomb palette that I've ever seen and it make me change my mind. I am like just dripping glitter, y'all.
I literally saw Audra take I thought you had like essence or something that you just needed to rehydrate your face. Just like do this and it was just glitter.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to quickly say, because I realized I was working on the dichotomy of like women and men, and I realized that one, our audience has a lot of non-binary people or other people in watching. Like I'm framing it as like a woman thing versus a man thing. I definitely don't believe that. I believe everyone can wear makeup and everyone can collect sports shit or nerd shit or games or sneakers. I just the way that things are feminized and then kind of also like we get shit for enjoying the things that are more feminized as people that are that are not men, that are not cis men. That's where it gets frustrating because I'm like, okay, you can collect your baseball cards or your posters or your games and not use them that often, but the makeup conversation, it's like, well, it's gonna go bad. So it's part of what I'm like fighting against or working against with the like makeup as merch mindset. But also I think I haven't seen anything that's drawn me in either.
That's the other thing. And like Yolanda was saying, all of my fandom merch is something I use. I have mugs and t-shirts and cheap palettes. I need to use it. I don't really do display. So like that's the thing is I think, and bye Sharon, I hope we'll see you in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But it kind of goes with what Day is saying, Legally Black Beauty.
Yeah.
People are judgy about collectible items that can be used up. But it's like you don't, the idea of being used up is also, anyway, but you were talking about Yolanda's point. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. I think these two together, like they actually go together because I'm of the mind that, hey, I have it, I'm going to use it, right? And then once it's done being used, like if I liked this this canister, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. I'm going to use it late afterwards. And like, I'm going to display it some, then I finish up the product inside, I display it, but I use the product inside. The idea that if it has a purpose, we have to use it. But if it's like coins or like, you know, like my doll here, then it's like, oh, that's fine. You have your satanic panic titty thing over here, you know what I mean? And like that can be on display. I mean, it does have titties. It's weird. Anyways, but like you have your shit. Like this is stuff that doesn't, for the most part, with the exception of the pens, have like an actual use. And I think that that is it. That I think that that's really just aside from the obvious patriarchal part of it. And I feel like that's a big part of why people down people for getting makeup as merch. Because like if you look at Jeffree Starfish and all of his shit, there were a lot of people who continue to buy it even though they don't actually want to, because they have
on it.
They have everything. They have every collection that he's ever released. And so it's difficult because like they're doing a collection. It's a collection mindset. And they can't just not keep going. Like there's a part, like once you, whatever it is that you start collecting, unless you're a Taurus, which is a weird thing, Taurus will start collecting shit and then be over it in like 3 months and start collecting something else. That's how we work. But once you start a collection of something, it's hard to just like walk away from it. So it's like, there are people who have every single ColourPop, Disney, whatever that they come out with. They may not ever use the palettes. Who knows? They may use them too. They may be doing both things, but they can't not buy them. And I think that that's the other reason I try not to get involved in that, because I don't want to because I know I'm an obsessive personality and can do that. So I try not to get involved in the like, gotta catch them all, Pokemon.
And yeah, you know, I hadn't thought about the makeup as merch idea when it comes to completionist, because it's not even just Jebediah Stankfish. The Urban Decay Naked series had so many people that were just like, well, I have to have them all. A lot of times and I feel like people had that moment with some, like with the MAC special releases, or it could be anything. It could just be, I own all the MAC lipsticks, or I get every Pat McGrath palette, or I get and it is true that a lot of times completionists, they are just getting it like as merch, because even if they don't have it on display, it's sitting in a drawer with all of the other things, and you open that drawer and stare longingly at your completed, collection, and you might still only pull for one palette, but you have all 10 of them in there because, because it works for you. And like Ani said, everyone only understands their own collection. It makes sense to them. And it's interesting to think about the idea of like the completionist mindset being that same thing of just like, I need it all.
That's what made me laugh.
I have the mindset of I buy what I want, and I don't buy what I don't want. I can't see a reason to complicate it. Agreed.
Exactly. And the only reason that this even comes up in conversation, I think, especially with regards to makeup being merch, is I feel like there's a lot of people out there who buy collections, and again, we all collect things the way that we collect them, no matter what it is. But buy it too. And I also see those people in the beauty community and beauty lovers, right? That's not just YouTube beauty community. It's everybody in the beauty community who really want to see these merch collections succeed. But they just don't. And like for some of us, they don't. For some of us, they don't. So it's like the Beetlejuice. I just really wanted that to look different than it looks.
Yeah,
I just wanted it to look different.
A little thing that annoyed me a lot is that they released 2 palettes, and one has 8 pans and one has 10 pans, and I'm pretty sure it's the same size palette, and the 8 pan just has space in there, and I'm just like, no, I don't want it. But I think the reason why I get they put one gray shade. Here's the thing is, I think the reason why I've always railed against the idea of makeup as merch, because I know I've talked about it a lot, especially in our live streams, is that I I don't want to just reward a brand for half-ass work. And because I've yet to see a release that's like, oh, that does it for me, that makes me really excited as a this lover and a that lover, and now they're together and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I haven't seen that yet. So I'm not against buying it, but when I don't feel like I see so many people are just like, well, it's this, so I have to buy it. It's the child, so I have to buy it. Or something with Obadiah and Sankfish. It's one of their releases. I have to buy it. And I'm just like, why are we rewarding corporations when they're not even doing the kind of effort that they could be doing? They're giving us like 10% of what they could give us.
Yeah, that's honestly like my biggest issue with makeup as merch is I feel like I wouldn't even mind buying some of this shit if you would like make the whole collection amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or just do accessories. Don't even do a palette. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I feel like, you know what, you can have like if you want to do the Miss Piggy thing, you can have Miss Piggy mirrors, Miss Piggy brushes, you got Miss Piggy sponges. You could do all of these things and then like not have a palette. Like the thing with Friends would have actually been better if they just did like some lip glosses and then did like a bunch of different fucking mirrors, like that were limited edition mirrors in all those like fun, funky shapes, and didn't even try to release like palettes. I think that's the issue. Like just do a couple of blushes or something. Just do something small and like fun and interesting. And actually collecting. Like it's fine if we don't mind collecting things, and I don't mind collecting things. But if you wanted to like really drag me in, I'm annoyed that you just gave us the least amount of effort possible. Like you literally did only put in the tip.
Yeah, like okay, like the Miss Piggy sponge is cute because it has her little nose at the end, like it's like pig nose. But the mirror, like I would have bought that mirror, but it's the most basic square whatever mirror that you can buy in bulk, and they just printed like it's not bejeweled anyway, it's not pink, it's not like, it doesn't read, in my opinion, it doesn't read her at all.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that I would have bought almost instantly. I would have bought it. But it's shit. It's not a good, like, it doesn't do it for me. I would have gotten it and been like, yeah, this is shit. It doesn't feel special. But if you do a compact, like I almost bought the Jessica Rabbit highlighter because I thought it was just a pretty compact. Like even that Disney release that we talked about on Tuesday, I don't want any of them. They're way too expensive to me, and I'm not a Disney person. But a really fancy compact, even without powder in it, just a really pretty compact or mirror, things like that, I'm so into. So, yeah, I think there are things that can be done that don't have to have like product inside. And this is also why I will say, like, especially brands that sell singles, like a brand like ColourPop, I don't know what Tyrion is getting into, and it's okay, sorry.
You know, we're doing the same thing with our babies. Like,
I'm just like, what is, and I don't even know where he is or what. Anyway, I've been pretty much sleeping all day, so he's like, give me attention, something. The tip part. Welcome, Elise. But yeah, Golden Girls, but they'll fuck it up. Also this. Yeah. These are other reasons why I'm holding out until reviews for the Beetlejuice situation. But for brands like ColourPop that do singles, why don't you do a magnetic palette? That's a really cool Baby Yoda one. Like, that's what I would also love to see. So, like you said, more accessories, more things that I can use, I can put on display, have more ability to be used in different areas of your collection, and also don't feel like just like ticking time bombs like product does.
And Feffy, you are not a clown because those compacts are reusable. Like you're not a clown. Like, and that's the thing. See, that's the thing, that even though they're like ridiculously expensive, that is a much smarter way. Like I respect that because
like what April
and
is
not
saying
putting
here.
some bullshit ass makeup in it that you can choose, like you can be like, I want this shade, and they put the shade in your fucking
Yeah.
compact, and you just keep refilling it, so like you have the thing forever, and then you like just keep putting more stuff in it. It's not something that you throw away. So I think that's the thing. I'm like, if you wanted to give me some badass like Miss Piggy brushes and like, have little things happening, I'd be like, okay, bitch,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Kind of like
I
what
feel like that's
Storybook
something you
did
just
with
start doing.
brushes. Like Storybook did their wand brushes or their this or
Yeah,
that. Like some of them feel very cheesy or feel very much like it's not my aesthetic. But at the same time, it's something that I could buy that doesn't feel as disappointing because again, my thing is if the product is not good, I'm mad at it. And it's not just
yeah,
something I'm going to display. It's something I'm going to be like, I'm going to have it and be like, wow, that's $50 just laughing at me in my face. Because like I
yeah.
won't even enjoy it as like a visual thing,
Yeah, 'cause
usually.
shit, we all know I don't like Friends, right? But the people who did like Friends were very disappointed in like the first launch. I'm not exactly sure how everybody feels about the second one, but the first like Makeup Revolution Friends launch, so many people were disappointed. They were like, "This is boring." And I know that there are people who are buying it because they collect all kinds of Friends stuff. I can't imagine why, but we all collect things the way that we want to. Like I'm sure no one can imagine why I have the things that I have, or why I have Vincent Price or a glass spider. Like people can't figure out why I have these things. I enjoy them. But I really think that if they stopped actually trying to make like you were talking about, and many have said before, like just do a magnetic palette for me, baby. Just
Yeah.
just do it. It doesn't even have to be huge. Just this size and right here is sufficient. This is a small one.
Yeah.
If you want to make it the size of a small color pop, 9 pan, okay, like that's
Yeah.
fine. I will be perfectly happy with that. I would buy that. Like even the Hocus Pocus one, I don't even think I would have noticed how shitty the artwork really was if the
Yeah.
inside of the palette hadn't been busted as fuck. So like that's the kind of shit where I'm like, y'all shooting yourselves in the foot.
Yeah, I just and like even what Yolanda said, I love what Terra Moon did with El Barrio. I couldn't justify buying the palette because I have all those shades, but I did buy the empty magnetic palette because it's so pretty. Exactly. Like
Exactly.
I'm okay with like frou-frou additions to a makeup collection. Like but and like magnetic palettes, mirrors, brush holders, that's a great example too. Like release a cup slash brush holder that has Miss Piggy on it or this or that or whatever. Um but I think it's just so often when like the actual product inside is so disappointing, it's really frustrating. Whereas like you said, like a nice compact that's even just empty, where it's like you could put whatever you want in there. You could put a powder or a blush, or you could just leave it empty. Like I would own more of those if they existed, but people aren't doing that in a way.
Well, see, here's the thing, Gabby. If you go over to, for instance, in like Look See, Adapt, all of them, a lot of them have like MG magnetic palettes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you end up buying shadows. You choose to buy shadows, and then you add the palette because you're like, I don't even know if I have a palette, so I'm just gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
add this. I don't know if I have space in the palettes I have, so you just add the palette onto it, and then you do end up filling up your shit, and you keep coming back and buying more,
Yeah.
and you'll just keep doing that. I like the idea of the upcharge. I think it seemed like a great idea at one point, but even my Ophir one, this is the Ophir Pro palette. I can actually take all this shit out. Like I can take all of this out and I can replace it. It's all like able for me. And here, I'm just, in case you think I'm lying, I just like took this out. I can take
Yeah.
everything out of this bitch and put it back in.
Anytime you see a little like curve, like how these all have the little, I'm saying this for everybody. If you're looking at a palette and you see like those little marks outside of the pan, those little divots, that's a
Mhm.
sign that it's a magnetic palette. Like El Barrio, the Terra Moons palette has that. You'll see it
Yeah.
here and there. So in case you're ever on the hunt for more customizable palettes, that's a sign.
And honestly, I feel like this is the shit they need to be doing. Like, do this and have like several little, like, if you wanted it to be blushes and highlighters, then you just have them all be like blush and highlighter size. but like have several little spaces in there for this, and then I'm rocking and rolling. Now I'm gonna buy the palette because I like the outside of the palette, and I'm like, oh, it's fucking Beetlejuice, that's amazing. And then I'm going to go in and buy some more of your shit. I'm gonna be like, oh, well, I want to fill it up with some stuff when it comes because I don't want to just have an empty palette. Because I have, listen, the few times that I've ever bought an empty palette is specifically because I ordered shadows and I forgot to order a palette. And then I was like, you know what, I have so many like shadows coming, I'm just going to go ahead and order a couple of big palettes from like Amazon, because Adept sells on Amazon. So I'm like, I'll just order a big palette from Adept. I think it's like keeping in mind that people who like to collect, like, there's several different types of collectors, and they're leaving out the type of collector that likes to use the shit and likes the shit to be nice. So I feel like what they're doing is like people like me and people like Emily and people like many of you in the chat, they're leaving us out of the equation because they keep dropping this like mediocre ass palette. And then I'm stuck sitting here being like, I mean, do I buy it because I like the packaging?
Yeah, exactly. Like if more brands did like these 9-pan sizes, like this is a Shop Miss A palette, but if you use this size, even if it's not a big palette like the Ofra one, I'm not as much of a fan of the palettes that have the predetermined wells like Ofra does. I like just having an empty space that I can like fill in and move around. But like,
Night, Lisa.
Night, Lisa. But yeah, like release more palettes, more things that, because again, this is still a mirror. This is like a compact to me. Like if it's like a nicely done one, especially, this is like a compact for me. It's something I would reach for a lot. And I feel like, you know, there are, and a lot more regular consumers. It's interesting. A lot more regular consumers buy magnetic palettes than you think. My mom does and is not entrenched in beauty at all. I think that like there's different little like kinds of beauty buyers. And I think that in a lot of ways, like there are sections of the community that are kind of ignored or just looked over, because it's like when we all got up in arms, a lot of us got up in arms when Colored Rain has decided to discontinue their single shadows. I know it's a painful topic. Sorry to bring it up, chat. But yeah, like the merch thing, I actually, like, a lot of people were roasting Colored Rain for the Juicy Boost umbrella and the cup, but I thought
it was a good idea.
I thought it was cute. I thought it was interesting. And like, I obviously like cups, and like, like Lethal sent stickers with one of their collections. And I put stickers all over. I've gotten a nail polish sticker from one brand and a pumpkin. And like, so like if more brands actually did merch, like theme releases that included shit like this, even if you're a makeup brand, I would probably go and buy it, because it's like already part of this collection. But yeah, I think they do. Oh, go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I think if that were completely true, then the Jessica Rabbit shit would not still be here. We wouldn't still be faced with it. I feel like what keeps happening is they're not paying attention to the different, because here's the thing about if I release a Labyrinth collab, because I fucking love Labyrinth. Okay. There's going to automatically be people who love Labyrinth. They're going to buy it post-haste. Like, it's not even going to be boom, they're going to buy it. They're not going to care what it looks like. They're just going to buy it. Then you're going to have the people who are going to care what it looks like, but like they still have that nostalgia. So like, even though they don't like everything, like they're going to buy it. Then you have the people who are going to look at it and like critically and be like, I don't like it. I'm not going to buy it. And then you have the people who just aren't who don't know about it at all. They might buy it because they like it. Then they're not going to buy it because they don't like it. The problem is, if you only catch that first crew and you don't catch the rest, you are fucked. Because now your shit, that Jessica Rabbit thing has been on sale since what, winter?
It was on sale since almost the release. Almost the release.
Yes.
So you got sticker. I did. Well, I ordered it a while back, but yeah, like anyway, stickers.
Oh my God,
I didn't think I was a
love
sticker person, but like, yes.
I didn't either until I started sticking on my cups, and I'm like,
Yes.
and I need more like death stickers, like creep stickers, like.
And here's what I'm gonna say is actually, as much as I shit on Glossier, they were doing stickers. They were like one of the first makeup brands that would do stickers like with their releases or with their shipping. So yeah. Or enamel pins. I saw Elf has enamel pins now. Like I think there's ways to do merch that makes sense and gets people excited.
I sincerely think that there is. I think that a lot of these brands could actually make it exciting if they stopped focus. Because here's the thing: if you didn't have to focus on some shit ass color story that you're going to put out, and just got to focus on like the fun pieces of it. Because if you think about even your favorite creators, they drop merch. I have sweatshirts and cups, right?
Yes.
I'm not like sitting here being like, let me just like release this like mediocre brown palette. I hope you like it. So like, but I think, Olivia, I think that there's a large percentage of people who actually want to use it, but we cannot forget those who don't care and they're not going to use it. They want to display it. But I feel like if I release that the Labyrinth palette and the Labyrinth collection, if I only catch the first crew who's gonna buy it no matter what, I am losing a significant amount of money because all of the rest of the people who I needed to like pay attention and buy it, I didn't capture them. And I needed them to make my shit work. So I needed to capture the people who were like, I mean, it's all right. Like it's an okay enough. Like I'll buy it because I like it. Because I like Labyrinth. And then the people who are going to look critically at it, I need the critical people to look at it and be like, I like the color story. I'm buying it. And then, I also need I don't know what the fuck Labyrinth is, and I'm buying it. So I needed to like cascade that down well enough. And I see it so much on Sephora and Ulta when you look at their sales sections. They're not doing it well. They're not doing it as well as they could be doing. And if they don't shape up, they're just always going to be sitting there being like, oh, we're just going to keep releasing it. We're going to keep releasing it because they're going to keep trying to capitalize, and they're not realizing that it's the makeup. It sucks. Like
also when Pat McGrath did she has face masks. And I remember first seeing it because Alicia got the first PR that Alicia got had her face mask in it. And I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. Like I didn't want it, but I could appreciate the like beauty of it. And then I saw them on her site and I was like, that's so smart. Like that's the thing is that those are the kinds of things that I might pick up randomly that I'm not going to do with like an eyeshadow palette that bores me. Because even with with something like
she's still having that sale, y'all. By the way,
wait, it is? I thought last night was like the last night of it, but maybe
let me see.
Maybe it was extended.
I think it is still happening. It is still happening. Boom! She's still having that sale. Listen.
That's another interesting conversation. Is wondering if there's going to be good Black Friday sales or if it's just going to be consistent sales till the end of the year.
Well, I mean, not to like be too like into the end of the year, but y'all, a lot of people are doing their fire sales because here's the thing. Everything's very uncertain. There's a lot of people who are unemployed. A lot of the benefits are like either have or are going to expire for people. So discretionary income is disappearing. And a lot of people are more than likely working under the table because they're making more money under the table than they would ever make at any of these shit ass jobs that are like, here, we're going to give you $7 an hour. And these people are like, yeah, that's not okay. So basically all of that to say, these brands are like throwing out sales like hotcakes. Did I spend $15 on Midas glitters? We're not going to talk about it.
I mean, you brought it up, though. You brought it up. I mean, I have literally a box right here full of things I need to haul. So the sales have been tempting. This is Beauty Bay, Sephora, Elf.
Yeah, makeup
Yeah.
bags. I just don't understand why, if they're gonna do makeup as merch, why they just don't do it as merch. That's what
Yeah.
bothers me. Because, like, listen, say what you want.
There is
Listen, this is a different glitter. There's other glitters that have shapes. Thank
also,
you
I am just
for.
waiting for Audra's Pat foundation review before I buy. Because if y'all were not in, Audra did an insomnia stream recently and bought from Pat McGrath and JD Glow, and Audra was like, everyone needs their bougie foundation, and I was like, do I need my bougie foundation in the chat? And Yolanda's like, with your preferences, I recommend the Pat foundation, and I was like, no, don't say that, it's on sale. And then I was like, I'm gonna wait for Audra's review because Audra bought it. So
How is
I'm
Laura
still
gonna
waiting.
be in here calling me the fuck out?
I
I love
literally
it though.
showed my box of shit that I have to haul for y'all. Like
It's like
Sephora, Beauty Bay,
it's super
Elf, Ritual
ridiculous.
Defee.
Like shot through the heart. Like, yes, it's covered in, but this is gold glitter, and it has no shapes. I got glitter that is shaped like butterflies and stars.
I didn't read Laura's comment as like you don't need glitter. It was more
Oh
like
no,
you
I
have
thought it was
glitter
funny.
all of your face, like
I thought it was funny.
like
I'm like,
glitter.
I'm laughing my ass off because I thought it was funny. Like, did you just spend $50 on glitter, but you already have glitter on your face? Like, listen,
No, but you're using your glitter.
I am using my glitter. Like, yo, there was no even rhyme or reason to this like glitter configuration. BT dubs. I just like smashed it on my face. Like,
She did. Like it was essence or toner. It literally, I thought you had put something in your hand and just like,
yeah. I mean, so that's the thing. I think that makeup is merch. I really just want them to fucking do merch. Just do it. Don't release a palette and like stop. Just please, just give me a palette and be like, give me a compact and be like, here's your badass compact, and then I can keep refilling it. And then I like
yeah.
it serves two purposes, right? I'm like, yay, I have this. And then like also like the cups and the straws and umbrellas and hair clips and bracelets and rings. Like do the thing. Give me some hair clips. Give me a headband, the soft kind, not the hard kind. Which I only say about headbands, not carrots. And then give me pens, give me beauty sponges, give me brushes, give me stuff that like, give me mirrors, give me the kinds of things where no, I'm not bad. I thought it was awesome. I loved it, Laura. I did not take it badly. I thought it was so funny because it was like, did I just spend $15 on glitter? And you're like, but you have glitter all over your face. I'm like, I know.
And Sarah is over here hyping up the Pat Foundation. So I'm just going to say, here's the thing too, is that, okay, for the fact that we are in this era of beauty YouTuber, beauty Instagram, beauty TikTok, like a lot more people talking about beauty on their social media, whether or not they are a beauty creator. I still don't understand why brands aren't hopping into the handheld mirror game. Like
I know.
the fact that more brands aren't doing, unfortunately, the Jebediah Stankfish like thing that he set up with mirrors, like if more brands were doing that, I would be buying them because it's fun. It's fun to have something cute to hold up in a video or even on a live stream or whatever. And brands aren't really doing that. And I'm trying to figure out why.
About this mirror, and I think I probably spent like $15. It was like a comb set. I have this up here specifically because April said I would be the clown with 15 mirrors, 11 tea. That's why I have it, because 11 tea magnetic palettes and brush cups everywhere. Thank you. Like,
I have a pile of magnetic palettes that are not even special, but that I use and that like I want to see brand, like, here's the thing is I think there's a fine line of like just telling brands to just produce everything, like make stickers and shirts and like I don't necessarily want everyone to do that, but if you're going to do a collaboration in particular, I would love to see brands doing more that's not just makeup in the collaborations.
Yes, like I mean, you could make like you know how Lancome, that collection we were looking at,
Yeah.
and the tubes were pretty, like even the Marc
Yes.
Jacob ones, like just doing that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like if you can harness it and make it fun instead of just like putting out these like really boring color stories, and it doesn't even matter, like even in my most basic bitch moments there's only so many of those that even if I'm a collector that like I can buy, like
Yeah.
because they're all neutral color stories, most of them. I don't know
Yeah.
how they all end up being neutral, but they do. So
Because
they're
they
all like
sell
these
the most, so
neutral
they
color
keep doing that.
stories. You're like,
Yeah. So Emily mentioned a pretty handheld mirror, like the Melt B one, but actually pretty. I think
yeah.
there's going to be a handheld one in the Beetlejuice collection, and that might get my money. I have to see it because I only saw it like in their video. But yeah, it's like Melt is one of the only other brands that I see doing it, and I wish more brands would do them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yes, or this. Like I want like an actual like over the top silly
Yes.
piggy one. Yes, or if they had a compact with the eye packaging, yes.
Yeah, because
Like
like a friend of mine for my birthday sent me this like brush holder, which obviously I love because it's a fucking
yeah,
skull. But send this to me. Like this is the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. So if you could,
yeah,
you know what I mean? If you could make merch out of that, like I would be eternally like, yes, make that into merch. Like if you're gonna do a Beetlejuice collaboration,
yeah.
have that little fucking snake thing be.
Actually, Hot Topic sells one of those. They sell one of the snake cups for brushes and brushes.
I don't go to Hot Topic
I know,
because
but they
I'm
have a
40. No, I'm
website.
just
They
kidding.
have a website. Courtney Jane has it, and it looks pretty cool. But I don't always want like weird brush cups. Like I use like currently, I use this is an old giant candle that I had that is actually a great brush cup, and then I use a. But even if like this is a Sonia Kashuk like one with dividers. But even if brands were doing more things like that, where you had something cool printed on, or like I use one of my merch mugs as a brush cup, things like that, like I would totally, ugh. But it proves a point. Like I don't want that mirror, but I do want a mirror.
Yeah, and it proves the point because this happened, with Jalopity Staircase. Like people would buy those mirrors like you would not believe. Like
The
that
amount
the
of people
mirrors
that collected them,
like, first thing
yeah,
gone every time. The Jalopity
yeah,
Staircase mirrors were gone so fast, and people lost their ever loving minds over those mirrors. They're like, "Oh my god, I got it!" And I just think that people underestimate, like these brands keep underestimating the amount of money people will spend on these fucking mirrors. Well, we
yeah,
will, but like we want them. I want to be, because honestly, it's when you're getting ready. Like I like this mirror, right? But it is rather small.
yeah,
So I like to have a bigger mirror because then when I'm getting ready, I can actually set upwards instead of going like this into the mirror,
yeah.
and then all you'll see is the top of my head in my videos. So it's like that's the only time you'll see that. Moving on.
But yeah, it's weird how like this is a conversation I feel like we come back to a lot where it's like this market is so oversaturated, yet there are these huge gaps that they are just not like they're just not filling. Like, and I don't
Mhm.
understand it. Actually, I wanted to say, so oh, that's pretty sad. But also I have to say, wait, where is that comment? Um Tarte is a brand that surprisingly has some interesting and random magnetic palettes. They have
Yeah.
like a couple of square ones that I've actually wanted. They have this like hexagon or octagon shaped one that's like looks very cute. They have like the mermaid one. Like it's a really random little part of their brand that I feel like no one really pays attention to, but they're pretty cute.
Yeah.
Um yeah. I mean, for filming, I have to use a mirror because I'm not like there's nothing in front of me. Like where I film, like I'm not at a table or something. I'm
Yeah.
sitting, my table is behind me. So yeah. But here's the thing is even if they're expensive, people would spend the money if you do
Yeah, they
them
would.
well. If you
Honestly,
do
like
them
somebody's
well.
like, "Oh, it's gonna be $25 for this like fucking Miss Piggy mirror." Who's arguing? If it
Well,
like
I mean
if
it's
it
already
had all the
20. Probably
rhinestones,
be like 30 or 40.
yeah,
Thing. If you do the mirror right and I'm into it, I would personally, in all of my clownness, probably spend up to $40 or $50. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Not for any old mirror, but like for one that's like makes me go like, ooh, I want it. Yeah, exactly. It's the only thing from Tarte I've actually been drawn to buying.
Well, see, so the thing about like the reason I have this one is because when I realized that you can manipulate this, like now it's not awkward because I can hold it exactly how I want to, and I'm just like doing my makeup, and I'm like, and it's easy. So
yeah,
there's that.
I have one that has mine that one side of it I lost, but it's the same thing. It has that kind of handle.
Not
But
you.
I don't really use it for filming because the two double-sided mirror, no, don't do it because then you'll have reflection of like all the stuff. Yeah, no.
Also, don't use a 10 times mirror to do your makeup for a
Or
video.
do it if you have bad vision.
That's true.
I do.
But if you
I use
don't have
it.
bad vision, listen, your eyebrows are gonna come out fucked up. Okay.
Well, even if you have bad vision, it's still good to have a not 10 times mirror to like, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I might spend a lot of money, but it's okay. Yeah, I would with the Simple Human one that this had broke. I would reach out to the company and be like, because I think they're supposed to be like guaranteed forever or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's interesting thinking about how there's just like chunks of the beauty world that are just kind of ignored when we have people that are like, I'll give you the money, give me the product.
Yes. And it's like, and here's the thing, I've noticed this on virtually every collection we've talked about where people like even Teresa was talking about if you wanted the mirror, it doesn't come with it. Like the irritation that people have when they like buy a whole pet and then that doesn't show up. Oh my God, I don't want to talk about Tati right now because it's a whole mess. Don't bring up Tati right now because
we could just ignore the comment. You know that, right?
I'm a little loose-lipped from the wine.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. My ignore skills are down.
I love it. I love it.
My ignore skills are down. I did eat today. I ate like something. I don't remember what it was, but I ate it.
I'm glad you ate. That's progress because I know that's always a struggle.
I know.
Yeah.
I think that if they could just tap into that, like even making refillable spray bottles.
Yes.
Like, come on, makeup companies.
Like, do like a fancy, I think I said this before, like have a fancy face mister that has like one of those like old school like perfume, like puffy things, like where it's really fancy and then you could refill it with different things. I don't know. I feel like people are missing out on like people that want to spend money and we want to spend money.
Whining old Audra has some thoughts. Listen, I didn't drink it all yesterday, but like I have things to do tomorrow. I know that you're sitting there like, you have things to do tomorrow, so you're getting drunk? Yes. Because my track record has been I'm not going to sleep till like 4:30 or 5 a.m. So, and I have things to do, and I have an appointment at 9, so I have to get up at 8 for it. Anyways, moving on. Listen. Here's the thing. I'm gonna send you this. Okay.
What?
Because I know that you were having like a sleepy day, like I was having a sleepy day. Have you heard this shit?
No.
Bitch.
Are we doing this right now?
Do you have any more thoughts on makeup as merch?
Not really. No, and I'm happy to talk about drama. You don't know me. I'm nosy. I'm nosy as hell.
Listen. Apparently.
The person that Audra said she wasn't going to talk about. That's what I'll say.
I'm looking over my shoulders because you never know where Tati's going to come from. Okay.
The white woman that cried for 40 minutes, according to D'Angelo. The woman that was in the D'Angelo 3 documentary.
They have been served, allegedly, Tati and James, by their business partner in Halo Beauty. You didn't hear about this? Oh, you didn't hear about this?
No. I was literally asleep till 6:30 p.m.
So they had 50-50 with, it was like Tati and her mans and then other guy. Okay. We're going to call them TJ because that's easier.
That's so Tati.
Because it's Tati and James, like James, her husband, James. So we're going to call them TJ and we're going to call and then it's going to be other guy. So TJ and other guy went into business together for the Halo Beauty. I got this off of Twitter, y'all. All right. So they go into business together. And then TJ convinces other guy to give up his 50% stake and do a third. So they would all have a third, like, you know, because like there would be more ventures that would come into play that would make him more money than he would make here. So other guy starts doing fucking research into beauty and makeup and skincare, all this shit. Because he's like, yeah, we're going to make money. But you know what they did? Allegedly. TJ, when they came out with the TB palette, you know, they didn't release it underneath the Halo Beauty, which was
no, because I remember when Tati Beauty was introduced, I was like, wait, but she has Halo Beauty.
Exactly. She was supposed to release it under there. They didn't. It looks like allegedly they were trying to cut him out of the profits.
Yeah. If they're like, oh, well, we're going to have vitamins, but then we're going to have other things too. You'll make more money. And then, yeah, because I did think it was really weird.
He kept coming up with ideas and TJ kept shooting other guy down. He was like, hey, why don't we do this? And they were like, no. And then they released Tati Beauty. So that is allegedly ALLEGDLY. Why? She has not released anything else past them poofs, allegedly.
Well, and also Halo hasn't released anything else, have they?
Because you just got served. I'm so sorry.
It sounds like that. Yeah, other guy was on board for other things. Yes. And I just thought it was really weird to establish Halo Beauty. And then, so basically, Halo Beauty was started with Tati, James, and this other guy. And they were like, other guy was supposed to have 50%, and they have 50%. They convinced him to have 30%, and they would have then 70%. Because they were like, there's going to be other opportunities. We're going to grow. We're going to have all this stuff. But instead of growing as Halo Beauty, they started Tati Beauty and did the eyeshadow palette and the blendable. And so I think they're now getting sued because, yes, commentary.
Listen, I would not be a good, because I would always be that person like, look here, I'll be like, okay.
And this Tati Beauty is a Seed Beauty brand. If you don't know, Seed Beauty is basically ColourPop started as ColourPop, and then it turned into Seed Beauty is like now the company, and ColourPop is one of their offshoots. So is Kylie, so is KKW, so is Tati Beauty. And so for Seed Beauty to have a brand like Tati Beauty that's not producing often, I'm surprised. Oh,
he wasn't just an investor. He is TJ's, emphasis on the J, best friend. And that's why he was so patient. That's why he was so patient with like, that's why he continued to do things like research and try to figure everything out. Like he was like, okay, let me find this, let me find that.
Also,
y'all can't be doing shit like this to me because I'm visual and I literally just saw that.
Like, also, another proof of more proof of don't do business with friends or family. Don't.
There was like a whole this Twitter thread had my little thumb on fire with the scroll because I was like, bitch, what?
James is best friend.
Like, Audra, don't be nosy, girl. It's none of your business.
Yes, I agree with you.
I was like, it is my business. I kept going.
Allegedly, like, oh my God. Yes.
So he was like, And he wants like open court. Like he doesn't want to like do this behind the scenes. He is ready to let a jury.
He's got shit to share. He wants the attention. Listen. Yes, I am waiting for the Kenya, Sharita, Amanda, and Audra videos. We're going to speak it into existence.
Listen, I am just saying.
If it wasn't your business, it wouldn't be on Twitter. I agree, Laura. They made it my business.
If it were me and I was TJ, I would just give him what he wants. Do you know why? Because I do not need. Listen, TJ has had it hard enough.
Yeah. Like, watch J-Star jump into Barry Tati with this.
No, here's the thing. I believe that little wench will stay out of this situation because getting back into that situation will make things already unsavory for like, remember the time where he tried to make like the black guy that he bought to be his boyfriend look bad for stealing things from his house, but he didn't steal anything. And as soon as like black guy was like, I got shit on you, like he was like, just kidding. So I think he's just gonna scurry out of this situation. He's gonna keep, spiders, it's roaches. Roaches do that. Roaches.
Yeah, it makes sense of why she's been quiet since June. Also, you don't need a not have any channel, you just need a series because you gotta take in the subscribers you already have. But yes, a series would be good. But yeah, it makes sense now in terms of how quiet they've been. It makes sense about the Tati versus Halo Beauty. Like I was really confused because I was like, and then when they said it's part of Seed Beauty, I was like, okay, well maybe that was the only way they could do that. But I'm just like, no. Oh, do we think Tati might have been thinking about this too back when she told us stuff will come out and we shouldn't trust what we hear? Maybe. Because maybe things that were going to come out. Oh, wait. You're looking side to side. What do you have to say?
Listen, possibly. Because when all this shit exploded, like this was coming, all right? This is already coming. They were already fighting with this dude when everything else, allegedly, and this is my interpretation. They were already fighting with best friend when all of this shit was going. That's why like she got more frail than usual. And I'm not gonna like say anything about her because I liked Tati because like me, she had frail bird shoulders, and I was a fan. I liked that she had the frail bird shoulders that look like you might possibly break if somebody just
frail bird shoulders. You are too much.
I could feel that because I was like, yeah, I have shoulders like that, but I'm really strong. So,
ooh, this does make sense. The prepare to forgive, because I knew I forgot who broke that down, but somebody was saying like when she, or maybe it was D'Angelo, when she's saying prepare to forgive, that's like prepare to forgive me because I fucked up and things will come out, and then nothing came out. You never know. Those private jets are fast. She could have.
Listen, if Tati showed up here.
Also, allegedly Audra is a mood. That's your nickname, yes. Allegedly Audra.
Yes, like I can say that about her because I had the same. I had the same like little boop 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 boop. So I, was like, that's actually what made me like Tati. But I think that this has been going on, that they've been for a little bit. And I think that is why she got so mad at JC for not endorsing her vitamins. If they had made more money, then they would have been able to buy him out completely, but they couldn't buy him out. Allegedly.
I think that they were just mad because, as somebody else in the chat said, they seem like they're great at wheeling and dealing and getting JC more money. And so because they did all that work and like negotiated for him, they're just like,
that was the other thing.
Like, I think that they probably got him a lot more money. Oh.
That's another allegedly situation where they took out a significant amount of money from like the Halo portion.
Oh,
Allegedly
okay. This makes sense in terms of
took out a
why it would turn into a lawsuit.
because it was like,
But yes, I was like, damn, she about to pop up with a sex cult or something. Agreed. Like yeah.
because he
Yeah.
best friend is over here like
Yeah.
best friend is like, y'all said that when we went third, you were gonna do X, Y, Z. You didn't do X, you didn't do Y. And you damn sure didn't do Z. It's not just, here's the thing, it's not about money. When friends sue each other, it's not just about money.
Yeah,
He
no.
was mad that he did all this research, allegedly, and that he tried to like look into skincare and all and like do all this stuff to make Halo like a bigger brand than it was. But they allegedly were greedy and they didn't want to share any money with him.
It makes sense though in terms of all of the different, yes, what a mess. Okay, desmadre. Like that. Ooh, allegedly they got TJ to surrender a percentage of the company because they told him J-Star, JC, Manny, and more.
Allegedly, yes, this is true.
Oh,
I did hear this on the streets.
yeah.
Listen, word on the streets is this is gonna get ugly.
And yeah, skincare, I thought they would have already had skincare come out. That's why when she came out with Tati Beauty and the eyeshadow, I was like, this seems like muddying the water in a way.
Yes. Oh, Ari Lynette. Yes. So,
all the way to Poland.
let me
but also this. She hurt a friend and friend will make her pay. Yes.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We have been seeing J-Star show up at TJ Maxx for a while, and every time he's like, I've talked to my people, and like, da, 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 da. I don't think that's always been true. Anyway, I think that it's been selling there for a while because I think that he has been overinflating the sales of his shit for a long time. Okay. All right. And that's
like how Kylie finally got called out for that. Like,
yes.
Like they finally are getting like revealed. Yes, exactly.
He does those mystery. Like that's why he does all those mystery boxes because it's all the shit. Like it's you would think with a small company and like if he was actually selling the fuck out of stuff, he wouldn't even need a mystery box, right? Like he would actually do like a fun mystery box full of good shit, but instead it's full of like crusty.
Well, he does because he's not selling out of the shit that's like too adventurous. That's why your mystery box is full of purple lipstick and green lipstick. And thirsty palettes and nobody wanted because it was shit.
Correct.
Yeah.
TJ Maxx. But listen, here's the thing. TJ Maxx is not the end of the world for you, so I don't know why they.
So I heard that Jeffree Star was advertising. Like not that he had to pay YouTube, but that he was advertising his video. Which I mean, yes, you pay YouTube to advertise, but yeah.
Yes, and he should because nobody likes him. I mean, like people like him, but like nobody I know likes him.
Yeah.
Did y'all see? Okay, the drama channels. I think that there's not enough beauty YouTube drama going on. So now they're fake fighting each other.
Oh, of course they are.
And some people, whether they wanted to or not, saw a certain viewer's voice, carrot, uncensored. Because he was proving, which I do not agree with, regardless of how you may feel about someone. I do not agree with you being mean and shitty about their drug abuse and drug history. Yeah. Let that shit the fuck go. You can attack somebody on so many levels and not use that. Thank you.
Yeah. But wait, was it that they saw it because I heard he does like OnlyFans or whatever? Because that's again,
I think he does.
doing that kind of shit, that's also not, doesn't need to be shamed. Like there's
But
so much
even
you
before
can
he was
criticize
doing
people about.
OnlyFans, if you follow him on Instagram, which I do, because gay or not, a pretty man is a pretty man. So he, will have his like butt cheeks out, and they're nice. The cheeks are nice. Snyder has nice cheeks. It's they're not hairy, smooth, round in appearance. It's not a bad deal.
Also, I was saying, I wondered if the person that saw the viewer's voice carrot saw it because allegedly the viewer voice.
It was
Okay.
because they were talking shit about his alleged current use of drogas.
Okay.
And so he was peeing in a cup to prove and
Okay.
let it like with that pow on the carrot. I prefer not to see a carrot in its action that is not carrot taco action. I don't want to see the carrot just releasing its juice. That's not a fan. Like I don't enjoy that. But that's me. I'm not a kink shamer. If you like that,
I'm just like, it's not for me. Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, no, I would understand that they're like that they are fighting each other.
Yes.
Because also people have been pretty quiet. Like again, because Jeffrey, outside of the fake boyfriend, fake theft, talking about the viewer's voice, was doing a drug test, so he showed a picture of his carrot peeing in a cup for his drug test because people were like, he's on drugs. So yeah. But basically saying that all these drama channels are fake infighting for videos. Listen. Apparently Nick and Dustin are not friends. What are you doing, dude?
I have no idea because I know for a long time they were defending him, but I think that the only reason that they may potentially be pretending to not be his friend publicly, this is allegedly and my own thought process, is because they're both hemorrhaging some subscribers from continuing to be friends with racist. I've got a Birkin bag, but it's the worst possible Birkin bag, Lux.
Oh, wait, so we think that they are still friends with him, but they are just pretending that they're not friends.
Because it's not good for the brand. It's not good for their brands. Because listen, the Dramageddons brought them up, and like now that nothing's going on, they have to like everybody has to pretend to be fighting, but also they can't be seen in the presence of Rich because
To everyone that doesn't know these drama channels, you are lucky. Nick is the viewer's voice, and Dustin is Dustin Daily. You don't need to Google them or search them. That's the if you don't, yeah.
I am not gonna lie. I absolutely loved the viewer's voice before Nick was like, "Hey, I'm attractive." You know what I mean? Like before
when it was just his like voiceover over a still cartoon.
Remember when he was like, "Hey, bitches." Yeah. And I loved that intro, and then it just got ruined. Like, you are fine. You are fine. Don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Mess white drama YouTubers. Thank you, Olivia, for summarizing it so perfectly.
I feel like everybody just saw Bo kiss me on the mouth. I kissed his nose. Thank you. I didn't just like kiss his mouth. Like, just don't.
Yeah, and so Dustin and Nick were friendly with Rich and Jeffrey and all these like rich racist pieces of shit.
Yes.
Yeah. So
listen, I'm probably going to I was supposed to film it today, but I was filming like a whole video and like listen. Whew.
I love Deja's Keke Palmer voice. Don't know who that man is.
I don't know who that man is.
Yeah.
Like I just
Wait, are you gonna film on this? Are you gonna do like a commentary-ish video?
I was doing a commentary video. I wrote down notes and shit and everything. Like I did it last night, wrote all these notes, and I just haven't filmed.
I'm excited
and
to see
also, for those of y'all, like, listen, November is going to be a lot of live streams for me, FYI. Like, I'll be live streaming with Emily, but I'm preparing for Vlogmas, so I'm not going to have near as much filmed content. So, like,
is anything right? Is the real question.
That is the actual. Listen, okay. Here's the thing.
Yes, you have to do it, Audra. The commentary video.
you know how people, and I say this about, Jalopity Staircase, okay? You know how people were treated poorly at one point or another in their life, specifically, oftentimes middle school, high school, because these are times that shape you, right?
Yeah.
And you can do a couple of things with these. You can, turn the table and be the one who's like, no, I will not let people be treated like this. And, like champion for people. Or you could also become the bully, which is what Jalopity Staircase did. Or you could do like what I did, which is like, hey, fucking everybody, like, it's cool. Like, let's all just be friends. What in the fuck are you doing, sir? You do not have tea to spill because you cannot talk. Hop down. I took you out already and you decided not to dump truck, and that is your business. We'll go out in a little bit. So with all of these things that you could decide to do and decide how you're going to behave, if you decide to be like a fucking asshole, regardless, it's not going to work out. It's going to be bad. And I just think that like some of these people just got like, yes, he is the one with the actual clown makeup, Deja.
Yes. The white triangles under the face again. Yeah.
I think everybody, so here's it. I think that drama channels, and I'm just going to say this, it's just like a sneak peek. I feel like, how you love a food, right? Like I like pho, right? I love chicken pho. And I would have it every day. But at some point I'm going to get tired of having it every day. And then I'm just going to be like, I don't really want it, but like I'm still getting it. And then I get it. And then I'm just going to be like, it's kind of making me sick because like I should stop eating this every single day. Ugh. And like if I choose to ignore that, like that's bad. But I just feel like it's that. I keep eating it every day because it's delicious and I love it. And then eventually it starts making me sick. And then I throw it away. Like I throw up and then I'm like, okay, I need to stop eating this. And I go eat some other shit. Now here's the thing. Eventually, you are going to go back and eat some pho. Like it may be 2 years, but you're going to go back.
So was your comparison that's what drama channels are like for you?
Yes, drama channels are like that, where you eat, they're delicious at first, they're delicious, and you're just eating it up and you're having a good time. But eventually, like at some point, it just starts to make you sick and you feel like throwing up, and then you're gonna get back into it later. Like something's gonna happen and it's gonna blow up again.
I think about like
was, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it is interesting how quiet I feel like the drama beauty stuff has been lately. And so it's like all of this infighting and all of this, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not surprised. Like just y'all are bored and you need to make your money, obviously. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, I don't trust anything out of their mouths.
Like, well, and see, like this is why, like, you can't, sir, give me 3 more minutes. You can't just get into a drama channel the way that it was done because it catapulted people, right? And that's fine. But the problem is if drama doesn't continue in the drama community, like in the beauty community, then it's like more difficult for you to earn some coin. And then you have to have like super clickbaity titles to get anyone to click because like really nothing's happening right now.
Yeah.
Except for Chloe being a dipshit. But like other than that, and I don't even know who Chloe is. I've just seen it on Twitter.
Oh, she's just like she's one of the older school popular beauty community people, but I don't know if she's still popular. But here's the thing too, is I think it comes down to because Jebediah Stankfish is being quiet, nothing else is happening drama related because he's not there to stir the pot and to start shit up or to feed bullshit to people like Rich or Nick or Dustin. So I think because he's, go ahead. No,
but also it's people are tired of that like negative ass behavior. So
yeah, but I think if it's good shit, they're gonna feed back into it. They're gonna be like, no, I'm not watching negative shit. And then like 5 minutes later, they're like, but maybe I will watch it, but just on like incognito mode so I don't get the views.
Well, because like Trisha Paytas started making an entire career out of being a troll, right? But now, like, and we keep watching her insert herself into every ounce of drama, but look how much we don't care. Like,
I never cared about her, but that's why I never feel like a comparison.
There once was a lot, like they would cover everything that happened with her, and her videos would get views. Now they're not getting the views that they used to, and not like get the negative behavior is not getting people the bump that it used to give them. Because now people are like, this shit's fucked. You can't behave like this. It's gross. And part of it's probably because a lot of people are quarantined or they're having to go to work in all this mess. And the last thing they want to do is see like somebody behaving recklessly. And I just think that there was a me that used to click on, even like that's even how I found out about Trisha Paytas. I had no idea who the fuck she was. But I found out about her through drama channels, and I would like watch it. Now, whenever like Trisha Paytas, said, I'm like, of course she would say something. I don't care, and I don't look at anybody's video about it. I don't look at anybody's tweets about it. I don't care, because it's like it's worn out. It's welcome and it's newness. Like I'm just like, she's literally gonna do anything she can for views, and that's the consequence of using negative behavior to get you someplace. Her crying on the floor and all this weird stuff. Like there are consequences to using negative behavior. And this is the consequence that like, eventually you're just the boy who cried wolf. Nobody gives a shit what you have to say anymore. And nobody cares. So it's just like, now you're just like pedaling in this like swamp water instead of like beautiful water and like jumping into a waterfall. It's swamp water. Sorry.
I'm just laughing at Snape Dankson. But also, why are they... I don't know. I'm lost. Why they would. But yeah, I mean, Trisha was never somebody that intrigued me. I probably did watch some drama videos about her, but I never also, like, gave her views for her shit. So it never feels like a comparable thing because she always just felt like a troll for troll's sake. But I feel like... I don't know. I do feel like there are ways that drama will probably stay the same in terms of like, if there is the trash there that's actually interesting, and it might just be a different beauty guru that they're trashing.
We're all gonna look.
Exactly.
But you have to be interesting. Like Kristen Leanne did all kinds of shit, right? And it was horrible.
Yeah.
But nobody cared. Like very few people cared about like how she was shitty, and you have to wonder why nobody cared why she was shitty, because she had a decent subscriber count, like all this stuff. You have to wonder why like it's because she wasn't in any drama.
Yeah,
you have to be in drama at some point for people to care about you being like a shitty person. Do you know what I mean?
You being a shitty person is just you being a shitty person, and everyone probably thinks like, I've been a shitty person in my life too, so why do I care? And I also think somebody like Kristen Lee, I feel like there are people, this is my take on it. There are people that sometimes you're like, I just don't feel 100% about this person. I don't know why. And then when their shitty behaviors come out, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. So it wasn't even a big surprise. I was just like, oh, she is trash. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna keep moving. Whereas I feel like when Tati and all of that stuff came out, or like those kinds of things where you're just like, for people that didn't see through who she was and felt attracted to her and drawn in, when it all kind of like all this shit just got exposed and people were so shocked, it was like, lifting the veil.
So here was the thing. It was this was, how they will show you on a commercial. I relate everything to like media. You know how they'll show you like on a commercial where if you go to this restaurant and you eat this fucking, cow steak, it's like, it's almost the fucking entire cow, right? And they're like, if you eat this, you get it free, fucking wall of fame. That's how drama channels work. We're all just like sitting there like, I'm trying to eat this like fucking steak. And like, eventually you get full, you can't make it through. So what somebody had said was, I don't understand the drama channels. I will tell you what the draw is. There was a period of time where we followed celebrity drama. And then like there was ET, TMZ, and that's why TMZ is just like trash now, because like nobody cares about celebrities anymore. But like People magazine, there were so many magazines, The Inquirer and all of this stuff. And so what started to happen is like when celebrities were like, leave us alone, we were like, okay, we'll leave you alone. We stopped watching them. We stopped caring. That moved over to YouTube. So what happened here is that drama channels would report on drama. And eventually, like, big stuff started to happen. And we can't actually fault the drama channels for doing what they do, because I think it's very easy for people to be like, they're fucking assholes. But you have to think about this. If I went to bed tonight and I have a little over 7,000 subscribers, if I went to bed tonight and I woke up tomorrow at like 8 a.m. and I'm going to go get my hair done with my mom, and as I'm getting my hair done, I go and like check and see how my next video is doing, and I have gained 3,000 subscribers overnight.
Yeah.
You have to stop and think about how that changed. And you're like, what the fuck? And you're like sitting there being like, I don't know what I did. And you're trying to like look at your analytics. As you're looking at your analytics, 3 hours later, 5,000 more people have subscribed to your channel. So you're looking at 8,000 increase in like a 12-hour period. It is very difficult for people to be in this position and not try to replicate that success. And that is, no matter what you do, you are going to try to replicate your success. If you were successful in contacting a bill collector to give you like 20 additional days to pay your bill, then you're going to try to replicate that success every fucking month until it doesn't work, right? It is the same thing with you. So as soon as these people started to see this like huge growth, it's not just growth in your channel, it's growth in ad revenue, it's growth in sponsorships, it's growth in brands sending you like free stuff. All of these things make a difference. And so you're like, it changes the trajectory of your channel, whether you want it to or not. And you're right, Elise. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I think the thing is that any kind of media, any kind of ability to become famous is a breeding ground for toxic, dysfunctional people. I don't think it's just YouTube. I think it's all of social media. I think it's YouTube. I think it's Hollywood. Like, I think that there is any kind of space where you could possibly get famous, gain money, gain power. Like, that is really what it comes down to. And I think that, oh yeah, and for anyone that was asking about Kristen Lee, these are why we were saying she's a trash person. Yeah.
Not just animal hoarding, animal cruelty.
That I didn't even know, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. And this is why you see people like that. Not only James, but a lot of people are like that. They're constantly trying to replicate the success and one-upping. And unfortunately, when you have that kind of like larger than life channel, especially when you have that much money and fame, like, I feel like it's getting this I don't know, it just feels like keep trying to get bigger and better and better. But after a while, for me, it's like, okay, you're just rich and you're just like stunt queen now, or like it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, because like the exact moment that I started to have trouble with this was like the last Dramageddon, the like last super intense. I put, and I'm not gonna lie, like just like so many people, I put so much energy into watching this. And it was like, how many of us were sitting like, get him, Tati, go Tati, like, da, da, da. When James came back, I think the thing, like, it came back and it was like a deflated balloon. Like, nobody responded. Like, he came out with like, bap, 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 bap. And then like all of them just shut the fuck up. None of them had anything to say.
Yep.
So we just watched them all just like pretend like he said nothing and then just like go on. And James went about his life. He gained back his subscribers. But for those of us who were watching that drama, not only was it anticlimactic, but we didn't get any resolution.
Yeah.
And that, like, it was greasy pizza at that point. Like, you're like, you now have diarrhea and you're like, I know why I have diarrhea, but like, I just don't understand why like it's like this, because I also didn't eat this and this. And that's what it felt like. It felt like we didn't get a resolution. We didn't, and to this day, we actually don't have a resolution to what the fuck went down. But we were all eagerly like eating that up. And I say we as like the collective, not every single person was, but a large chunk of us were watching this, and we were like, every video that came out. When I tell you, there were times when the viewer's voice had a video up at 2 a.m. about this situation, and I was awake and I was
Had like
watching
5 or 6 videos a day, depending on what was going on that
Thank
day.
you.
Like,
it was like an intense news cycle, and they did not stop, and we didn't stop. And then when James finally came forward and was like, yo, he was like, I'm gonna let y'all finish. But Beyonce had one of the, like, that was like the moment. And like, it really, and the worst thing about that is he came out, he said his piece, and nobody, all these drama channels that were like video, fucking silent.
Yeah.
They had nothing to say.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a lot of us, this is the first time that we realized that there was potentially, allegedly, a bias from some of these channels on who they were reporting, how they were getting their information, because they shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Nobody had
all of
anything
a sudden,
to say about James and his whole thing. Like, nobody was apologizing to him, you know, and we don't like to talk about the fact that, like, and I will say this for myself, dead ass, I'm a grown ass woman welcoming the downfall of a young man. I did not care about his mental health. I did not care about his mental state. I didn't care about anything. All I care is that I didn't like this kid, and I shouldn't like this kid. I'm 40. He's not my demographic. It wasn't for me, right?
Yeah.
And yet here I was cheering on the end of his career, which is fucked up, right? It is a completely fucked up behavior to have, but many of us did. And we all sat there having that.
And here's the thing is that there, and I've said this before, there are many legitimate reasons. I have many legitimate reasons why I do not like James Charles and why I feel like his success is overrated. And I wouldn't mind him being less popular than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's as amazing as the money and the power shows. But the reasons we were wishing for his downfall weren't related to that. And they were put out with no proof. They were put out with nothing to back it up. So that's why it's fucked up. That to me is why it's fucked up. It's like it was very much like, okay, we honestly, I feel like we let homophobia just be like, oh yeah, like let's like take this person down.
Yeah.
But I want him to fall for a true reason.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Like real shit.
Plenty of real reasons why he should fall, in my opinion. But what came out, we didn't know if it was true or not. And so if it's true, that's fucked up and that's something else to talk about. But we don't know that. So
yeah, there's this middle ground where he's regained everything, right? But like, as far as it goes, everybody else who said anything, they were lying. And they were lying for clout because Tati had this badass video. This is the problem with airing all your shit, right?
Yeah.
And this is the problem with takedowns. So we had no problem watching this young kid just get taken down, not really thinking about the fact that he's a human being, not really thinking about the fact that he could actually be suffering mentally from this situation. We didn't think about any of that. We're just like, yeah, fuck him. And when he came out and told his truth, what is always going to stand out to me, and I'm so like, the D'Angelo Wallace videos were really good about pointing this out. It was radio silence. Nobody gave a fuck. And we all just like moved on. But the problem was, if you were eating up all this drama, there was no resolution and it didn't end. The next story came on and you're still sitting here like, well, but wait, what the fuck happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? And that's when you started to realize like you needed to get up off of this sauce. Like you need to get up off of this drama channel sauce because it doesn't always have a resolution. It doesn't. And it could all be bullshit and it could all be experiments and who knows.
Exactly.
And what we like, for me, what I started realizing is I was like, this is making me like physically ill. Like I'm making myself sick. I'm spending all this time on like the destruction of other people. And yeah, it's great because like, at least it's not my life, but like when it is my life, I want people to care about me. So like, I don't want to be like relishing in the downfall of another human being unless they're a giant piece of shit, like, you know, Jalopity Staircase, which I don't care. I genuinely don't care.
Yeah. No. Also, he's always been YouTube's fave boy. He's been buddy with Susan, whatever, one of the big wigs of YouTube. And I think that's why he can continue doing lie after lie in terms of how his career started, when he photoshops his looks, all of that stuff. And that's why I get frustrated, because it feels like there's so much there to take him down on, but he's in such a place of privilege where that doesn't matter. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. There are so many reasons, many valid reasons to not like anyone, but sexuality ain't the one. And it was really the ease in which that was used against this person.
Yes, it was very
pretty scary.
Old school, like, this is why we don't do this thing. Sir, we have 5 more minutes. I know I said that before, but 5 more minutes.
Well, I'm sure. So Mo says, allegedly Mo thinks Jebediah and Snape encouraged sister JC to take the sugar bear deal and snitch to Tati. But here's the thing, is that it was public. It was a public deal. So there's no snitching necessary. It was publicly shown on his Instagram that, like, he was doing a whatever. I personally don't think James even needed the encouragement from Jeffrey and Jane, because I think James is a business person first and foremost. And I was just like,
hot take. He shouldn't have been. If he was friends with Tati, he shouldn't have been promoting her shit. I'm gonna, like, I know that sounds weird, but he was friends with it because here's the thing: Sugar Bear Hair paid him. Halo Beauty was not going to pay him.
I think the thing with the Sugar Bear Hair thing that made me question it was that it was supposedly for Coachella security. So it wasn't even payment; it was service in exchange for an advertisement.
They paid it.
But that's why I don't like that lie. Don't fucking lie. Just say you did an advertisement. Say you did an advertisement. Like, that's the thing. Those are the things about him where I'm like, shut the fuck up. Just tell me the truth.
I mean, he lied
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he definitely lied about this. He got paid. But so, because I don't believe in mixing business and like friendship.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I really don't. I think that the only way that this works, the only way that you make business and friendship is if your friend is going to be working for you in a capacity that has nothing to do with your businesses. You know what I mean? Like, if I was like, if suddenly I had, 1 million subscribers and I had friends who didn't have 1 million subscribers and had time, I would be like, yo, I need you to do me a solid. Can you just look at my comments?
Yeah.
I will pay you to do that. That's one thing. But I don't think you want your friend, because his whole thing was like, listen, you can't, like, I'm going to make you pay me. Like, that was his thing. Like, that's my opinion.
Okay, first of all, Sugar Bear Hair is the Morphe of vitamins. They don't work. They get their promo because they pay people to promote them, in my opinion, and they're cute. And then wait. Now I lost my train of thought. I don't think. Okay, here's the thing. I think that you could agree to do an ad for a company owned by a friend, and you could get paid for it. You should get paid for it. Here's the thing, is that I don't think friends should just endorse other friends' shit like willy-nilly. I think that if you want to do an advertisement, if you want to sponsor an Instagram story, and you're my friend and you have a company, you can pay me. That's my opinion on that. And if you just want me to talk about it, then it's probably something I have to actually like. Like, okay, if I do a favorites video and it's not all sponsored and I actually like something that a friend released, I might mention it. And I might be like, yes, my friend released it, but I do actually like it. But that's not the style of YouTube that he has. And I don't really care. I don't know. There's just... Wait, I'm just catching up. Meg said, why can't we normalize, I was wrong, I made a bad choice, I wouldn't make that choice again today, I apologize. Exactly. Like, and even if you can't say, I wouldn't make that choice today, even if you say, I was wrong, I made a bad choice, I apologize. That's all. That's all you'd have to say. We don't allow for normalizing those things, and celebrities and politicians and Supreme Court nominees feel they can't just be honest and evolve. Well, they don't want to be honest. In my opinion, they don't want to admit that they were wrong, because that would show that, like, I think that's a vulnerability that a lot of people don't want to show, especially
Correct.
when you are a famous person, a person with a lot of power. But yeah, I don't know. Cecily asked, James Charles was technically a child at the time this all went down, right? I don't remember how old he was at that point in time.
Listen,
I think age is a weird thing, because I think that there's this weird space of like okay, there are business decisions where I feel like if you are very young, you should have people around you that can help you with those decisions.
yes.
At the same time, I felt like some of the things that were, like, specifically with James Charles, there were things with the claims about him trying to get with straight people and all of that, where, like, there are things of, like, exploring your sexuality, especially as a younger person. Like, there's this weird, like, give and take where I give a little bit of forgiveness for, like, if you do something kind of fucked up in that realm, not of, like, denying consent or assault or anything like that. Like, exploring your sexuality and figuring shit out is one thing, but I think business moves, I don't know. It's like, I feel like you probably have people in your life that you can ask and talk to about.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. Ageism is ugly, because we act like because you're a certain age, you should be or you should know. But we don't take into account how people grew up. So, like, we actually have to, and this is actually going to be me being on James Charles' side.
Yeah.
We have to think about the fact that he knew what he wanted to do. And as much as we want to be, like, shitty about the fact that he photoshopped this picture, and he knew what he was doing. He wanted this thing and he went for it, right? But he was still young when all of these, like, imagine yourself, if you're not, most of us aren't, imagine yourself at 15, 16, 17 years old, getting, like, national recognition, brand deals, money is coming at you. You're just like, you're a fucking millionaire at 16. Who is going to make the best decisions as a 16-year-old? Fucking no one. I can tell you right now, if I had suddenly been, like, rich as fuck at 16, there would be no good decisions. There would be lots of drogas, lots of partying.
Yeah.
It would be a mess. It would have been a whole ass mess. If at 16, I had a lot of money, I would have been buying all kinds of dumb shit. I would have had so many of those little virtual pets. Like, it's just ridiculous. So for, like,
I love saying my brain isn't finished cooking. It's still raw. It's still raw.
Look at him and be like, oh, well, he was 19. I'm like, no, because, like, we want, like, I'm going to say this. If we're going to do this to criminals and say, like, well, they're only 17, we should not try them as adults, we have to have that same view of young people on the internet. Yeah. We have got to realize that they are young. And yes, children do know the difference between right and wrong, but we have to realize that you're not fully cooked, and the decisions that you make at that young age don't make sense. The decisions I made at 22 would not be decisions I would make now at 40. Yes, I knew the difference between right and wrong, but I also had this sense of, like, I'm going to live forever. I'm never going to fucking die. Yeah. Yes, bitch, YOLO. Like, that's where the fuck YOLO comes from. But, like, being young and thinking that, like, nothing can affect you, you know. But then you start growing up and you start realizing shit does affect you. Yeah. Like, you're not dead. Like, I think most of us thought we were going to die before we hit 30 because we couldn't imagine being 30. It's not like maudlin. It's not being, like, depressed. It's just like, we couldn't imagine being 30. We figured we would just, like, flame out at a young age and like, die young.
I also think there's a difference between thinking you're going to die young and just not being able to imagine something. I think a lot of us never imagined being 30 because we just never imagined it. We just didn't have the capacity to think beyond.
Well, yeah, like, I think it's
5 or 10 years in front of us. I think it can be both things.
It's like that die young and leave a good looking corpse, right? Like, so there's almost this sense that you're infallible and that there is nothing that can stop you and you do whatever you want. But when we come into, sir, we already tried this thing and you refused to dump truck. But when we come to these ages, we kind of look at people and go, well, they're 22. And keep in mind that we are a society in America, at least, that sends children to war at 18, but will not allow them to smoke a cigarette and will not allow them to drink alcohol. So what exactly is when do we say somebody's an adult? That becomes a question. Like, when do we say you are an adult? Because we will say, well, you're an adult. And it's like, but they're not, because they can't do the things that I can do. Like, if I was 22, I can do things that an 18-year-old who's joined the military cannot do. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense. Like, who's the adult here then? Which one of us is an adult? Am I the adult because I can do the things, or they the adult because they're going to war? So I just felt like, yes, he was fucking up, but he was fucking up the way any of us did. Unfortunately, he was fucking up on social media.
I disagree. I think there are things that he needs to be held accountable for, and he's fucked up. He's fucking up, and he's really setting a fucked up example for a huge population of people. And that's part of my distaste for him and my dislike. Yeah. I think that there's a conversation here that's a bigger conversation, that's a harder thing to determine, of like, what is adult, what is child? What kind of decisions are like ones that as a 19-year-old you need backup for, and what are decisions that you should have the autonomy to do? And I just think that it's like a very weird gray area, because I don't even know for sure. Like, at 19, like I said, at 19, things that he was doing, there are things where I'm like, he should have fucking known better. And then there are other things where I'm like, I don't know if any other 19-year-old would have known better. So I think that you can be in a place where, and this is a big part of it, he's still a rich white boy. So his privilege, so his muck-ups are in a different echelon. He has much more power and money and access than any of us do. And so a fuck up on his part is a much bigger, I think has a much bigger ripple effect than something on our part. And part of me feels like the privilege and the power and the access should come with more knowledge of like, get your shit together, motherfucker. But and the other part of me is like,
why in the fuck are we trying to force celebrities to be role models? They don't have to. Yeah. Like, the idea that we constantly have that, like, oh, well, like, I don't even like the Kardashians. You all know that shit.
Yeah.
And I don't like that she flaunted her wealth and all this shit with her whole vacation and all that. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that, like, she does not have to give up any of her fucking money to the rest of us if she doesn't fucking want to. It's not an obligation. We have got to stop looking at celebrities in the sense of, like, they have to do good for the world. We'd like it. It'd be nice, right? It'd be nice. It'd be good if they did. But they don't have to. So we have to stop looking to them to do something, because they're not going to, and they don't have to. If they don't want to, if they want to fucking have billions of dollars, millions and millions and billions and trillions of dollars, and do absolutely nothing for the greater good, we need to stop looking at them to do that. We need to look at real people and be like, hey, can you, because I will tell you what, if I was like ridiculously rich, I would hope nobody would be looking to me. But also, please understand, anything that I was doing for like the good of anyone, it's going to be under the radar. It's going to be shit that I'm hoping no one's paying attention to, because I don't want people being like, oh, Audra donated, $10 million, or Audra paid for the rent for her entire fucking apartment complex for the entire year. I don't want that kind of attention. If I'm doing good things, it's because I want to. It's not because I want people to think that I am a good person. So those are different things. Like, if I had the money right now, my mom's rent would be paid, my rent would be paid, my car would be paid off, my mom's car would be paid off, and a few of my neighbors who I fucking like, who I know are Biden people, I would pay their shit.
So there's a difference between being a role model and influence. He knows he has fucking influence. Yeah. He knows he's putting himself out into the world. that to me is different from when people get put on a pedestal as a role model. Yeah, you shouldn't be put on a pedestal as a 19-year-old as a role model, but you know you're putting all your shit out there into the world. You know that millions and billions of eyes are seeing what you're doing. And I agree that rich people have a whole lot, like Deja said, he's been extended a huge amount of grace for anything he does, far more than most of us ever will, which is why I think that there's this weird in between spot where it's like, yes, certain, like, you might not know better at a certain age, but I think that's why sometimes the reaction that people have is not always a bad thing. Like,
well, no, I think being upset is bad. Like, we can be upset, but I also think that regardless of the influence or whatever, it's still not their job. Like, we can want it to be, and we can say like all day long, you have the ability to influence in this way. It doesn't mean that they want to, and it doesn't mean that they care to. So at the end of the day, we have to really just start going like, let's just expect that they're shitbags and
we're adults
move on.
here. We're not children looking at them. And we can't tell children, don't look at this person and expect to like follow their life. So that's also why I'm like, if you want to be a fucking idiot, like the Kardashians, if you wanted to rent a private island and do that shit, why the fuck do you have to post about it? Don't.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's my thing with him too. There are certain things with like all these influencers out at parties. If you want to be fucking idiots, be an idiot.
Oh yeah.
But why do you have to share it with
for all of you
the
watching,
world?
please don't think I'm simping for the rich.
Yeah.
What I'm actually looking for is generally for like parents and adults to stop allowing these celebrities and influencers and people on social media to be the guidance for their kids, their nieces, their nephews. Like, stop allowing this.
I don't think it's them. I think kids have a lot more autonomy for what they find on the internet.
Well, yes, but we have to be watching it too. Because, like, as much as we want to say this, like, my mom, and I know it was a different era, I get it.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm never going to forget that I was in the room watching an Eddie Murphy special. I really think that it was Raw. And we're watching Eddie Murphy Raw. And there were jokes that I could get and laugh at. When it got too raunchy, my mom made me leave the room.
Yeah.
And this says a lot of what's different in the world. And I'm not going to judge parents for how they do things, whatever. But I am going to say it is different because I know that there was a time where parents were actively paying attention to what their children were watching and all that stuff. And I know that it's hard now. I know that it's hard. I'm not going to say it's not, because it's fucking hard. It's hard for me to keep up with it, even just like watching it. And I could not imagine being a parent in this day and age, trying to manage all of this social media and all this shit that's happening. But you can check out their watch history on their YouTube channel and watch some of the shit they're watching and be able to like have a conversation. Because if you're letting any form of media, whether it be YouTube, whether it be regular cable television, if you're allowing any form of that to take the place of your voice as a parent, that's where the issue comes in. And again, I know it's hard because they're going to learn from their friends like I did. They're going to learn all this stuff. But at the end of the day, my mom instilled a lot of shit in me so that there were things that even if my friends were like, oh, this isn't a big deal, my mom put other shit in me that said, it is, and I can't do this. So there were things I wouldn't do. There were places I wouldn't go because of how my mom set me up. And she did not set me up to fail.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a level of, and I get it, because also capitalism makes it hard for parents to like be at home and be able to do all the extra shit. It's not possible to shelter. It is not. You can't shelter them, but you just have to know what's happening.
Didn't have this as a kid. So
correct.
People can have YouTube accounts. You check their watch history. They were at school all day watching on a different account. So you don't know what they watched. Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I do think that there's like, I'm not a parent. I don't want to be a fucking parent. It's not for me. So I do think that what you're saying is important. I think that parents should be more active in talking about, even if you can't their watch history, talk to your kids about what they're watching. But the reality is that I think that there's still a whole lot more autonomy for kids to consume things that we don't know they're consuming, which is why I'm going to hold creators to a higher standard, because you can see your fucking analytics, your audience is children. Guess what? You don't have to show children the kinds of things that some of these influencers are. And
Correct.
so it's like, I think that there is it's a big, complicated conversation. And I think it would be something interesting to talk about when Bo doesn't have to dump truck.
Yeah.
But I think that,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, it's really good because I think that you're right. It is very difficult. I'm never going to say that it's not. Like, please don't.
I don't think parents always have the knowledge to educate their kids in that
Correct. And
way, because a lot of times you can't keep up with everything like that. Like, maybe that they watch James Charles. Does that mean you've kept up with every one of his drama issues and you know
yeah.
how to talk to them about it?
Yeah, and I don't think like paying attention and keeping up with all of the actual media is the thing. I really think that just being an active, non-judgmental part of your child's life
Yeah.
is the important part of it. And I think that that's the difference. Is my mom was like an act, because like if y'all no, you didn't see that. I didn't film that. But my mom did not know that I was watching horror movies at like 8 and
Yeah.
9 years old. She didn't know I was watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She was like, "What the fuck?" But like, there's a level of exploitation. Like if you saw D'Angelo Wallace talking about the Paul brothers, which I highly recommend watching the one on Logan Paul because that one's interesting. The one on Jake Paul, like you can put it on like silent or whatever. It's not interesting. It's not D'Angelo's fault. It's not interesting. It's just not
There's no
interesting
reason
because
to
Jake
watch it
Paul.
on silent. It's not going to give a view. That's my
But
thought. I'm
like,
like, watch it if you want to watch it, but don't watch it on silent just to give them a view because you like them, because YouTube is tricky like that.
yeah, but you
Um,
can definitely see that there are deliberate things that are done to try to like take money from children and chick children,
yeah,
right? Like the fact that, and here's the thing, as parents, like there's things that we well, I say we because I'm fucking a parent of a dog, but like there are things that parents can do. For one, stop giving your kids access to your fucking credit cards on these apps. And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way or anything. I'm saying
yeah,
that just like do not let them have this thing, because the problem is they have this and now they start learning to say the right language to get you to let them buy things. And when they buy things, I know as for a fact, there are things that I buy, like games and stuff, where it just says Google Play receipt. It doesn't tell you what it's for. It's just like it's for Google Play. So you don't know what exactly it was that your child
yeah,
purchased. So I think that just generally you have to, thank you, Meg, that's it. Reward good choices. You don't have to shield kids from everything. Just have the conversations and reward good choices. That's how I grew up. My mom just really rewarded all of my good choices, and she asked questions. Did I always answer them as truthfully as I could? I evaded the truth because I'm a bad liar. I would just evade it. But at the end of the day, I think that the biggest thing we need to do is very early on inform our children that these people are not who we need to look up to. That's it. That's all it is. Because then whatever the fuck they're doing it. They know they have child audiences. They know that shit. And they're still doing what the fuck they're doing. What they don't realize though is that like your child audience may outgrow you. And then you don't have anywhere to go. Because when you had a
no,
bunch of 13-year-olds screaming for you,
yeah,
you've missed the people who were growing up with you. Like you didn't grow up with them and they didn't grow up with you. Jake Paul is a huge example of that and why
it
he's like just garbage.
depends. I think it,
If
but
you
I
don't
think the
keep
problem,
being with
I think the problem is that you're creating trash people that are going to go make their own content and become
them.
trash people
Yeah.
on the internet. I think that they're doing it, and I think there's a lot of people that are doing things intentionally to
Oh
exploit
yeah.
their young fan base. But also, there's always more kids out there. So even
Yes.
if you're not growing up with them, if you have, again, the money, the power, the privilege, the access to a team of creative people that are going to be researching what's popular with kids age 13 right now. You're going to do those videos. Like, I think that there's this thing of, I think first for smaller creators, by smaller, I mean under a million, there are people that do outgrow their audience and their audience doesn't grow with them. But I think it gets scarier when they're larger and when they are somebody like, the Paul brothers is a different topic altogether.
Yeah.
Somebody like James Charles, again, who has a team that he's really working with to like keep on the trends. I'm more worried about it because I think that there are ways that they can continue to grow and still continue to tap into this young audience. And it's pretty fucked up, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we still have to, there is a level where we have to realize that, like, yes, these people are going to do this on purpose and they're going, like, because they want to make their money, right? But like, you can see it on there's a few that I paid attention to. You can see it that their audience has grown up and they're not interested. And then, like, this is why you see them having these bullshit ass parties in a pandemic, because now they're trying to capture like older people who would be interested. You know, like their 13-year-old audience is no longer interested in them because they've moved on to another creator who's more their speed. So like, because now they're 15, 16 years old, so they're not interested. But now they're trying to camp by having their stupid, I know, baby, I hear you fucking farting. It's pretty bad. But now they're trying to capture another audience. And these people are like 16. And so they're 16-year-olds who've never watched them before. And like, this is who they're targeting by going to these pandemic parties. Yeah. So like, you can see where that happened. But then those same people are going to grow up. And if you don't have like, I'm going to tell you, you have to watch the thing on Logan Paul. You have to watch D'Angelo's video on Logan Paul, because it's very good about how it shows the difference in audiences between his YouTube channel and his podcast. That is what I find most interesting, is that like the two audiences are not, they're not this. They don't like hang out together. Like the two audiences are here. This is YouTube audience. This is podcast audience. And I think that is an important thing to keep in mind, is that if you were a content creator and you want to keep acting like this and you want to keep using negative behavior, just be aware that you'll end up being Trisha Paytas. And that's all I got to say.
And I just think that there's a lot more toxic, influential people out there I think there's a lot more people that are going to continue to have their power. The Paul brothers can be thrown into the trash right now. But I think there are people, I personally think there is a whole JC crew, and I think his behaviors, I think this is going to be around longer than we think in terms of kind of toxicity that's going to keep getting translated to younger audiences and younger audiences. And I think it's going to be interesting to see, again, this conversation about age and what we think is appropriate in their development at certain ages versus others over time. Because I see, just with the conversation about James Charles, how in that same conversation, there are certain decisions that they've made that I am like, you should know better. And there are other decisions that I'm like, you might not know better yet. And what's true and what's not. So there's a lot more there to talk about, but we've already been going for 2 hours now. Bo has got to go. And
his eyes are he is looking at me. Like, he's just over there like,
I hope y'all enjoyed starting at makeup merch and going into influencer culture. Gen Z.
I apologize.
Exactly. It was a good conversation. I loved Drama Audra.
I don't know why I'm like that whenever I'm telling drama, but I'm like I just expect someone to
Drama Audra is welcome back onto these live streams at any point in time. I'm just going to say that, particularly on my channel. And on that note,
first of all, there's only carpet in the bedroom. I'm taking him out. Yes, Irene, that's going to be the name. Allegedly, Audra.
If you enjoyed this stream, definitely like it. If you're not subscribed to me, to Audra, subscribe to Audra, subscribe to me. We'll be back on Tuesday talking about something. I don't know what, but or maybe we won't. I don't know. Consider that unsure because of
Yes.
the events of the world. I'm going to
I
say
might
that.
be back tomorrow on my channel doing some dumb shit because it's Halloweeny.
Oh, yes. Happy Halloween, everyone. We'll be around on the internet. I will be during the weekend. So we'll talk to you later. Have a good night, everyone. Much love. Bye. Oh.